just did our video edit. Look at Juan, you got somebody over there down, you know, checking you out. With our client who is very pleased. Juan, if you could just take us through, you know, some of the features on this yard.
Yeah, we'll walk through the yard as we go. We'll start here. We have some nice synthetic grass from Malone's Turf, shout out to them, with concrete poured steps, right? So that way we can have these decking pads, creating a nice clean pathway out to the backyard, especially since this is going to be the main entryway. When he's hosting, people are coming in through here. Now, again, these are poured because they wanted a little bit more custom sizes, rather than limiting them to maybe a 2 feet by 2 feet or a 1 foot by 1 foot. I think these a little bit larger steppers create a really pronounced walkway. As we move on, we do have updated irrigation because as we get further into the backyard, we did do a retaining planter bed, which is going to be really nice. Also, another note, all of the gutters going down, connecting to drainage, so all that water goes out to the front. Right, last thing you want is for your water to be dumping onto your synthetic grass or your concrete and leaving that green growth that you get over time. So that way we do not get any puddling. As we move forward, we're going to start to see all of the pavers.
And something noted before we get to the pavers, you'll see the blades. He chose the longer blade, right? The longest blade. So you'll see that the blades, you know, they come up above the steppers quite a bit. Nothing crazy, but if you don't want that look, you can order a shorter length blade. That way it will be more flush with the steppers themselves.
He chose a very soft, very plush grass, which again, he loved. Maybe you love it too, maybe you don't, but we have plenty of options. So here what we have used to be all this red, ugly concrete, and it was fading as well. That's the other problem with the stamped and colored concrete, is over time it will start to fade more aggressively than pavers would. Now we did seal these pavers, so right now the colors are very vibrant. They pop out a lot more. We also sealed all of our bullnose caps. And as we move over to the bench, what we did here is we did.
And as you can see, the seal, it's a little bit shiny.
Exactly. Yeah. It looks like you just sprayed water on it. And that'll last for a good year.
And that's the beautiful thing about sealer on pavers, is not only does it protect the pavers, it makes the colors of the actual paver, whatever you chose itself, the colors pop out. It's more vibrant, appears to be wet. Not quite as dark as wet, but yeah, it makes the colors jump out.
Now, as I mentioned, we did a raised planting bed. Right? We added all new plants here, and all these plants are supplied water through a drip irrigation system. Again, going back to those valves that we installed. Now, the customer, again, chose all of this material in person. We went down to California Landscape Supply. So that way, again, they can choose it and see it and be comfortable with what they're choosing, because in the booklet, it can look nice, but what we find a lot of the time is they look at their initial pick, and then they see something else, and they're like, oh, I love that one. I like that. Let's change it.
And you'll notice that the sitting where he was sitting, that's 18 inches. That's standard. That's about the size of a chair. So a lot of people are conflicted about the size they want their wall to be. They're like 3 feet or, you know, or whatever, however tall they want their wall. But 18 inches is pretty standard for a sitting wall.
Very comfortable to sit. Again, we move forward. We have 2 of these benches. Nice, wide, open patio space. Again, eventually he's going to be adding furniture and spruce it up, but he himself said he doesn't plan to add a whole lot because of all the seating that he has built in. Now, one of my favorite features of this yard is our backrest here. We have a nice tall backrest, and the customer actually chose out the backing. He chose this nice Mexican tile. He had it shipped in, and then we installed it just like this. We wanted an alternating pattern, and additionally, even here, we have lighting, not just underneath benches, but underneath the wall as well. That way, again, as night comes, the party can continue. And of course, what we also did is for the benches themselves, we did a bullnose cap, so that way people's legs don't get scratched by maybe the rougher surface of our retaining wall there. So I think they're going to have a lot of fun out here, especially in the evenings. What we also did is we planted a nice tree behind it to really accentuate the accent in this planting area. So that way, eventually, they can get a little bit more shade. Last detail is a little dog run area. We did half soil, half rock, with a little gate to separate it. Now the customer actually plans to eventually add a doggy door right there, so that way when he has company over, the dog can stay located into this area. So that way they can have a nice private time without the dog jumping over everybody. So moving back to the pavers, one thing that we're always proud of is our corners, right? Our cuts, right? Because this right here is a great example of our attention to detail. See, what we have here is 3 cut blocks in order to make a clean pattern and transition when we get to our corners. And what we've seen is we've seen 1 full block, 2 full blocks. So that way they don't have to make any cuts.
Here's an example that we take pictures of some bad installs and bad craftsmanship that we've seen over in River Islands. So this is what Juan is talking about, and I'm gonna cut back to the video.
So again, the goal here was to create a nice large patio for the customer and his family. So that way it didn't feel so enclosed, because before there used to be another smaller retaining wall, but it was a lot bigger, more trees. It just looked messy. It didn't look organized. So again, our goal here was to create a nice patio space for the customer and his family. Now we're able to give that to them, and I hope that we can help you and your family start creating memories in your yard as well.